with Miles Holliday and Nate Garlock. We are the Three Wise Men. Gentlemen, new intro, new year. It's going great. Intros are great.
That was a new intro?
Yeah, it was a new, because I didn't say hello, Lima, and Three Wise Men. I said, we're the Three Wise Men.
Oh, yeah. Subtle.
Yeah, subtle. Oh, I'm glad you're talking.
Intros are great. We just got to work a little bit on the outros. You're getting better.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah.
One thing at a time in 2026.
Danny, I just want to point out, you look fantastic.
Thank you so much. Yeah. You look great.
Well, thanks, buddy. I appreciate.
What's wrong with what I'm wearing?
WSN?
Right.
Well, we all can't have your Danny Holbrook and Miles Holiday money, right? I'm just over here. I can't constantly just continue to buy new things that say WSN constantly.
There's lost and
all right?
found over there, Nate.
Right, I mean, come on.
Yeah, well, I know what you should do. Well, never mind, Nate. There's going to be games all year. Don't.
Yeah, listen.
All right, guys.
It's been a rough winter.
Let's see if we can't get some of our viewers to send in some letters to us.
Maybe they could suggest things that Nate could wear.
Yes.
I don't think we can read those letters.
What is the site again?
Three Wise Men at WTLW.com.
Can I ask a question?
Nailed it.
Why do your eyes always kind of drift down to the back of the poster? It's on the front. I don't know why you look down in order to be able to read
again,
it.
Danny.
Yeah, Three Wise Men at WTLW.com.
Your eyes still went down. I'm so confused.
Well, you know.
It's a
You want to try
hard.
it again?
I'm
And
tired.
one more.
I'm sleepy.
It's a hard email.
Three Wise at WTLW.com.
I can understand why you would need to read it off the back. It's a difficult email to remember.
We'll dig into the emails in 2 weeks, so hit us up. We want some great questions that we need to answer.
Hey guys, just before we go, I wanted to share a story. Ran into a fella this week who came up to me and said that he watches our show every week, loves the fact that we do high school
met the
sports.
one, huh? Finally met the one.
But he said, he goes, I love you guys.
Does he have a tea store in Gatlinburg?
No.
I was like, was this in Tennessee?
No, it's a true story. But he said he loves the fact that we all three get along. And I said, obviously you don't know us. But yeah, he said he loves the show, loves
Good
the
actors.
banter,
Good.
loves the high school sports. All right, guys, let's get right into it. The Diamond Dave Bowen, best thing we saw this week. Miles, take it away.
Yeah, I'll start off. I got a couple. Number one, I was at Van Wert on Saturday night with Randy Roberts, and we had Marion Local. Van Wert, great job taking an opening punch and kind of staggering Marion Local. But Marion Local, what do? They're unflappable, right? They said, okay, that's your best punch. Well, we're going to keep playing the rest of this basketball game. I'm telling you guys, the way they take care of the basketball is fantastic. Mesher is just the real deal. He is an absolute stud. But what they do on the defensive end, I talked to Brendan Hess after the basketball game. I said, what is playing defense like on this team? He says, it's fun. How many high school kids have you ever talked to about playing basketball and they say, what is fun is playing defense? They're doing it the right way over there. That's fantastic. On Friday night, it was with, local celebrity Diamond Dave Bowen over at Crestview. The number of 8x10 high glossies he had to sign over there was incredible.
Wow, that he had a game over there. Yeah.
It was a great basketball game against Bluffton, but the atmosphere at Crestview, man. I mean, I got there an hour and a half before the game, couldn't find a parking spot, and just everybody loves basketball over at Crestview. Fantastic job. I was at Wayne Trace on Thursday. If you haven't seen Lexi Moore play basketball for them, she is a 6'1" center, runs the floor. 6'1", runs the floor, catches on the fast break and finishes. She is a rebounding machine, over 1,000 rebounds for her career over there. Absolutely fantastic basketball player at Wayne Trace. But the best thing, without a doubt, and if you haven't seen it on TikTok, it is all the rage. It has gone viral. I'm talking about our TikTok we did last week with Grace Freiberger. It is fantastic. Nate, I'm so sorry that you missed out on it. Dave did a really good job, though.
Yeah, I'm super
It's
sad.
all over the world. It went worldwide.
Crazy.
It's crazy. The millions
I haven't
of
seen it
viewers.
yet. I'm going to watch it. When we get done here, I'm going to watch it.
It's watchable.
Yeah.
It is watchable. What do you got, Nate?
For me, honestly, I just went with one because of how good it was. And, Danny, you were there with me. It was the LCC Delphus St. John's game, the Holy War on Sunday. One of the best basketball games I have seen in a really long
best
time.
I've ever seen.
The atmosphere was incredible. It was a sold-out gym over there at LCC. Back and forth game. Jordan Pretty, Cam Elwer, the supporting cast all stepped up as well. Regulation wasn't enough. We needed extra time to settle that one. It had a little bit of everything. It was incredible. It was one of the 50-50 was 12 grand. It was an amazing, everything about the game and the atmosphere and the environment was incredible. So much fun to be a part of that game. I loved every second of it, and without a doubt, my best thing last week.
Was it a foul?
Best thing I saw all week. Not a chance I'm biting. Not a chance.
We had too much fun calling that game. No way. Guys, for me, it was Friday night. I got to go down to Wapakoneta, did the game with Jack McGuire. Wapakoneta, Ottawa Glen. I asked Miles before the game. It was my first time getting to see Wapak this year. I said, what am I looking for? He said, Danny, these guys are tough. Their defensive intensity. I'm here to tell you guys, you undersold that because when I talk about D, they get right up on you.
Connected.
And Caleb Moyer was fantastic. As good as he is on the football field, he was that good on the basketball court. He led the team with 13 points. And I know that's not a lot, but it wasn't just points. Rebounds, loose balls, hustle. I talked to Coach Trey Elkert. I did the Miles Holiday interview on the floor with him. I said, Trey, how do you get these guys to play this hard? And he said, Danny, they buy into it. He said, I have so many kids that are unselfish. He said, this is a team of guys that just want to win. They don't have a superstar. Ryan Richardson's great. Caleb Moyer's great. They've got size, but they don't have a superstar. They play hard. This is going to be as tough an out as there will be in the state of Ohio when it comes tournament time.
They're healthy, right?
Yes.
Like, that's the biggest thing for this Wapak team. They're healthy. Last year, they had a lot of these exact same pieces, but they just were not a healthy team. Finally, coming into this basketball season, Coach Elkert has a fully healthy team for the first time in years, and you can see the benefits of it.
Yeah, it's a deep team, too. I think a lot of it because they were hurt last year, right? So you had to develop that depth. Why not them winning the WBL? Right? Why not?
Yeah.
We're going to find out in a couple of weeks.
They got a 47-45 win over OG. Fantastic game. By the way, OG played really good that night, too. This is an OG team that's getting better each and every week.
Yeah, Brody Fortman, 22 in that game?
Fantastic,
He was so good.
Well, stick around, everybody, because when we come back, we got an interview with the Van Wert crew. The McCracken family's here. Jalen, Ryan, Griffin, Eric McCracken. They're here to talk about Van Wert sports. We'll be back right after these messages. Tonight's interview is brought to you by Lee Kinsel Chevrolet GMC on Irvin Road in Van Wert. Take a look at our pre-owned specials at leekinsel.com. It's interview time here on The Three Wise Men, and we are joined by the McCracken family from Van Wert, Jalen, Ryan, Griffin, and Eric. Guys, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
This is like Van Wert royalty, right? I mean, I'm telling you guys, followed all these careers and watching you play right now. And let's talk a little bit about the family dynamics. How competitive is in this household with all these McCracken boys and Dad? I know how fired up he can get, right?
Oh yeah, very competitive. We play a lot of 2-on-2 basketball in the driveway, 2-on-2 football in the backyard, maybe even some basketball in the basement back in the day. We like playing golf. I mean, we do it all. We like getting competitive and seeing who's the best and talking a little trash while we're doing it.
And there's the question for you. You're the best athlete, right?
I would say so. Yeah.
He's shaking his head.
I'm a lot faster than he is.
He's a lot faster than you? Yeah.
We haven't raced in a while, but I think the last time I beat you, so.
I got more letters. I'm just going to put it at that.
You guys actually still race?
Oh, it's been a while. I mean, I would try it.
Because I want to be there. I want Eric McCracken. I want him racing. I want to watch Eric McCracken race.
I would still race.
Would you
still race? Yeah.
Absolutely. I know I could get Ryan. I'd
Oh.
be all right.
Oh!
Maybe one other. I'm not going to name any of the others. I can give Ryan a hard time just doing that.
So this is where you learn to talk trash, right?
That's right.
Now, Damon's not here tonight, right? So he's on assignment, whatever.
Yep.
Let me ask you this, Dad. Where'd this love from sports come? I mean, when these guys were growing up, did you load them up? Hey, we're going to the Reds game. Hey, we're going to the Browns game. Hey, we're going to watch Van Wert play, whoever.
Right off the bat, it was more Ryan and a few of his buddies around our neighborhood there. We live near Smiley Park, and one day he was really young, and we had a neighbor kid over, and all of a sudden a car stopped out the end of our driveway. And we played everything in the driveway, whether it was home run derby, basketball, our own type of games. We would be out there in this driveway, and this car stops at the end of the street, and it was Coach Freilich. And he rolls down the window, and he was the high school basketball coach, and he had somebody else with him, and he says, "Hey, we've been driving around all day long, and you're the only guy with kids out in the driveway. Keep it up." And they left, and I was like, kind of hit home with me. So I coached Ryan, I coached Jalen, Damon, Griff, I'm sure. But I always tried to make it available to them, whether it was a basketball or a football, or, I was always going to the Wilson garage sale, and Melody wouldn't let us bring half the stuff in the house because it was, we would literally just load up on
I was
stuff.
the one that went to the Wilson garage sale. I didn't ever see you there.
I was there. We would try anything and everything, and I knew that it just built character.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it did. And later in life, we put lights up, and we lit our whole yard up, and we played wiffle ball, and we played basketball, and we put a goalpost up and turfed the backyard just because I didn't want them, Ryan and his friend Gavin Gardner, that group, when they would come over at 8 o'clock, I didn't want it to shut down just because it was dark. So we tried our best to keep them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just keep them going no matter what it was. And eventually, you know, girls and games, video games and phones went out, but that was, I could relate to the kids because they, at a young age, they were a better athlete than I was. When I say I can beat Ryan in a race, I can't. I'm just messing with you.
Thank
I
you.
thought that was a cool answer because you could tell you transported back to those moments a little bit right there. Right? Those moments, as a dad, they had to be special moments for you.
They were, and you know, we weren't always the best team, whether it was little league or basketball or whatever. But we would always show up. We were always the most fundamental, the most organized, the best dressed. We would do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We showed up with a purpose, and I felt like that kind of carried us on for a while. And those guys took it from there. I mean, what they did athletically or not after that was up to them.
How old were you guys when you realized, like, yeah, Dad's not that good anymore?
I don't know. I was probably, you know, he'd still go out and shoot baskets with us and hit baseballs, and he'll still hop in the cage every once in a while. He's got a pretty good hand-eye coordination. So I don't know if I've realized that, to be honest with you, Miles. I think he's still pretty athletic.
That's a financial advisor answer right there.
Now, Griffin, you're the youngest one, right? There's no behind you, right? Everybody, you're the youngest. Yeah,
the youngest.
So growing up, did you kind of idolize your brothers and watch these guys? And were you the ball boy when they were playing things like that?
I mean, yeah, I guess I really learned a lot from them. I used to go to their games all the time. I never really paid too much attention, but I think I got the fact that, you know, I got to fill these shoes someday. And, you know, I really pushed myself, and they've pushed me throughout my whole life, and it's really benefited who I am today.
Now, for you guys growing up in this house, how important was it that he was supporting you? And he made the comment, I didn't push these guys, but we put it out there for him, and they made that choice. I think that is so cool, right?
Yeah, I mean, thinking back on it, like the batting cage and the field goal post in the backyard, the basketball hoop that we always had aired up balls, you know, all that stuff was provided to us. And, you know, when you're in that moment, when you're 13 or 14 and you're hitting that stage in life where everything kind of sucks and you hate everything, but
That's a great point.
I look back on it now, and I'm really thankful that my mom and dad gave us those opportunities and helped us out with that kind of stuff, because I feel like, you know, it really shaped us into athletes, but I think it helped us realize, like, you know, our parents love us and they want the best for us.
Now, Ryan, you can tell us because nobody's watching. Did Mom ever have to calm Dad down in the backyard when the games were getting kind of heated?
Every once in a while she would, and it'd usually be like we'd be in the batting cage and the pitching machine would get offline and it'd hit me and I'd start yelling at him and he'd start yelling at me, and it'd be something like that. But
I don't think Mom came in. It was more so we would come in and something like Ryan would be yelling at Griffin. Ryan and Griffin were on the same team. If it was 2-on-2, and Damon and I were on the same team.
Always.
And it got to a point where, like, Ryan and Griffin used to beat Damon and I all the time. And then I don't know what age we were, but then Damon and I started to beat them all the time. And it was always those two fighting. And then my mom had to break it up when we came into the house. So she never actually went out. I don't think she had to go out, but it was always when we came back in.
Did you guys ever, growing up, did you ever have, like, in my family, sometimes we had, a lot of times, sports-centered vacations, like, oh, we're going to the beach, but we're going to stop at the University of Tennessee, or we're going to stop at, the University of Florida, got to check out the stadiums. Do you guys ever have any of those?
Absolutely.
yeah, we did. Like, I can remember going to San Diego when we were in school, and there's a picture of us at Petco Park, the Padres Stadium, just things like that. Like, if we'd be out of town, we'd go see the pro football or pro baseball stadium, snap a good family picture over there.
Now, the Van Wert name and the McCracken name, synonymous, right? What does the whole school experience, the athletics at Van Wert, what has that all meant to you guys as a family?
It's meant a lot. I mean, he was kind of alluding to it earlier. Van Wert Athletics, when I was coming into high school, they weren't really in a very good spot. I'll be honest. Football was down, basketball was down, baseball was down. My first 2 years of high school, we went 1-9 in football both years. So it was, I looked up to, like Griff was saying, I looked up to those guys that were older than me. I wanted to be a varsity athlete one day and to wear the Cougar jersey. And, we put the work in and put the time in, and to be able to turn that around and, kind of be a stepping stone for the grades behind us was really important to me. And, now you look at our basketball, our football, our baseball program, they're all top of the WBL, and I hope they stay there for a long time. And I'd give my dad a lot of credit for pushing, me and my friends, Jalen and his friends when we were younger. And it takes someone like that in the community to get sport programs back on tracks. And it means a lot. I like going to games and watching Griff, obviously, but even when he's gone, I'll still go back and watch just because I'm proud to be a Cougar and I like supporting them. So,
Griff, I imagine for you still playing that standard is something that you guys think about because of the guys in front of you, right?
Yeah. We push ourselves every day in practice. No matter what, we always hold ourselves accountable. Coach Best always emphasizes simple wins, because simple wins, they get you the win.
Yeah, it makes sense, yeah.
So if you do that, you're top of the WBL every year, and then we push the guys below us as well, the JV guys, freshman guys. We want them to be the best they can, for sure.
And of course, for you, being a player and being part of the program as a coach now, how special is that?
Yeah, it's really special. Kind of what Ryan was saying, like when I first started high school, like this, we had, I think it was on the come up, and then when I started to finish, I could really see, like, I was actually talking to my dad about this last night. Just like our class was a really good collective, whole group. Like there weren't too many egos. Everybody just wanted to win. So like in football, when we made the playoffs for the first time in 18 years, in baseball, when we made the Final Four, I think that kind of set a lot of things in motion. And I can kind of see like those expectations and those high standards are still there. Like from when I'm coaching, like the coaches, like Keith Recker and Charlie Whitten, like I played for them and now I get to coach with them. And I can still see that their standards are still that high and their expectations are still high, which is really cool.
Eric, I thought one of the coolest things I saw this year doing the radio and TV stuff was when we got to come over to your tailgate party at the football game. And not only the fact that you threw that and you paid for all that stuff, there were a lot of kids there and a lot of families there that had nothing to do with the football team, and you invited them in. And I thought that was so cool that it didn't matter who was coming up there. Your dad was serving burgers and dogs and drinks and chips to everybody. And I walked away from there. I told Miles, I go, why can't every community have that?
Yeah.
That was so I'm not trying to butter you up, man, but that was pretty awesome stuff.
When Coach Rucker came to Van Wert, we wanted it to be really good for him because he was young. He was Ryan's age. What Ryan is now, 27, I think. Had a brand new baby Molly that's an 8th grader now in a baby carriage. So we started a group called the Wrecking Crew, and it's RECKING, Wrecking, cool. Like Wrecker. I didn't come up with that name. One of my friends did, but the Wrecking Crew has collected money and given money exclusively to our football program. And the Wrecking Crew, that's my motorhome, but the Wrecking Crew provides all that food. And they, we all chip in. Hey, we're on the way to an away game. Ryan rides with us, and every guy in there throws in $20, but we've already got a kitty started by the time. And we eat at a pizza place at every away place, so cool. And then we rate it, which I think's a lot of fun. And everybody
knows the rules.
Oh yeah, there's great pizza places in the WBL and in Bryan. So, awesome. but the home games, it's kind of a free for all. We ask, hey, let's have a so and so theme, but the Wrecking Crew's mission is to get our community interested in football, so when they get to be high school or they want to go to the games. Right. That's our mission, and that's why when you see those people, that's not me. I'm just making sure they got food on their plate, but I didn't buy that food. We did collectively, and it's a lot of fun. We run, yard line contests. Where's the ball out at the end of the first and the third quarter? We do reverse drawings. We do all kinds of crazy stuff to make a couple $100 a year to do that.
Griffin, it's got to be a special thing for you because I've called games over there. The amount of adults that are there before the game, hours before the game, is absolutely crazy. And then after a game, the people milling around on the field wanting pictures with you guys, it's got to make you feel super special.
It's awesome to see the amount of people show up for the tailgate, and the amount of people after the game is just awesome. It's great to see, like, kids, like them bring their little kids.
Right.
They all have jerseys, they all have flags or face paint or whatever.
Little kids. Yeah, it is neat.
Like it's awesome to see that.
It's a cool thing.
Where it's just.
Hey, can I go back real quick to the tailgate that you do?
Right on.
No, look, 93 won the fan.
Yes.
Did a tailgate there one time. And this was on purpose, right? You gave Danny a chair that would break, didn't you?
Well,
you did that on purpose.
You told me to, so I did. and that chair's been retired.
Except for when Danny comes back.
That was his final game of last year. Yeah, we might do it. We might get it out again. You never
Might
know.
have been the greatest moment in radio history.
Yeah.
And I missed it. I was out there when it happened, but I heard it was a double gainer? Is that what they called it? Okay, all right.
My first introduction to Van Wert high school sports, I was in college in the early 90s, and one of my very good friends to this day is your county sheriff, Tom Riggenbaugh.
Absolutely.
And Tommy and I, we spent a lot of time together, and I spent a lot of time. Tell me if you know these names. Joey Gardner,
Absolutely.
Quincy Cloud,
Absolutely.
Bebow.
Yes.
I mean, I can go down the list. And that
Trevor and Jason, by the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's two of the best games I've ever been to in my life was those kids' junior and senior year when they played St. Henry. And St. Henry had the Bobby Hoyings and that incredible class, and Van Wert was knocking them off. Who's your favorite Van Wert athlete? You can't say your brother. You can't say you.
For me, I'd go with Corey Clifton. He was always one of my favorite athletes. He was the quarterback in football, point guard in basketball, played shortstop in baseball, and I played 3 sports in high school. I always thought it was cool that he did that, and now we're friends. That we're all grown up, and I just think it's cool that we're kind of peers now. But I did look up to him a lot when I was a little kid.
If I can't choose my brother, a guy in his class, Justice Tussing.
Okay.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good athlete.
Yeah, he played football and baseball. Very good athlete. I hope he's not listening, but undersized a little bit. So, but he always played with a lot of heart. Like, you could tell he probably wasn't the biggest guy out there, but he had the heart of the biggest guy out there. So I always looked up to him. He was always super nice to me and looked out for me and guided me. If it wasn't Ryan guiding me, it was him guiding me too. So I'd say Justice was mine.
To kind of go along with Jalen, with like being undersized and having a crazy amount of heart as Owen Treese. He was always been my favorite player because I've been undersized my whole life, but I've been pushed by these guys, thankfully.
Sure.
They kind of built me up. And like seeing him score 1,000 points, win a state championship in football, go to the Final Four in baseball, do all these great things while being 5'9". I mean, that's all I am, and that's who I look up to. For sure.
It was neat to see him intertwine with Jalen, Damon. He was right between those two guys, and I saw what Griff saw. I mean, that state championship football game, Owen put the whole town on his back and drug us there, and he's got the huge heart.
Now, he put it on the back, but somebody put it on the toe to win it, right?
That's right.
Yeah. What was that like as a family when Damon kicks that game-winning field goal?
I couldn't see it. I was a boy, and I was standing behind Reese Wise. I don't know if you know who Reese Wise is, but I told him I couldn't watch and let me know if it goes in, and the place erupted, so I knew it went in.
You knew, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was emotional for me just because seeing Van Wert football go from bottom of the barrel to winning a state championship, and your little brother's the one that boots it through was cool.
Yeah.
And I knew his phone would be blowing up, and he deserved it for sure.
I remember you running out onto the field after you jumped the fence.
I jumped the fence.
Did you really?
It's a crazy story. There's a lot went on that day, and
I was up high, like I was up in the stands, like way up high, and I was filming it, and I got it on video. I still have the video, and
it was pouring down rain.
Yeah,
and like in the very corner of the video, you can see you jumping the fence.
It was pouring down rain, and
it was real cold that day too.
Any of our friends can tell you this. There was a guy, we called him Superfan. Nobody knew who he was. He came to all of our tournament games and never had a ticket. And I just happened to give him a ticket one night, and then he leaned on me for the next games. Can you get me a ticket? Because it was COVID. You couldn't get tickets.
Yeah.
So I let him in. Hey, we got an extra ticket. Boom, he comes in. The next time he comes in, I've never had a conversation with the guy other than do you want a ticket or not want a ticket. With about 3 minutes to go in that state championship game, I went down to about the 20-yard line where they were driving, and I was on the fence behind the team and above the team, and my good friend Troy Treese was beside me, and there were a few of Jalen's friends that came up, And all of a sudden, Superfan shows up beside me to my left, and he said, "What's our kicker good from?" And I looked at him like, "Yeah, it's Superfan." And I said, 30 yards. And Treese looks at him and goes, "We're not kicking." My kid's the quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to get us there. And I agreed. I thought, Owen will get us there. And the guy looks at Troy and goes, "Okay, I'll go get some people." That was the end of the conversation. And he goes back up to where kids and people were and starts bringing them down there. So before you know it, we have a whole bunch of people. He comes back to me and says, "What are we going to do?" First of all, they called the timeouts and everything. I thought, all it's going to be is a fake. But I looked down at Damon, and he had a towel and was wiping off his shoe. And I thought, you're not going to wipe your shoe off if you're just going to go out there and be a decoy. So he wiped his shoe off. Him and Wrecker were laughing at each other. And I thought, sure enough. But Superfan asked me, "What are we going to do when he makes it?" When he makes it. And I said, "We're rushing the field."
Yeah.
And no more than, it seemed like a second, but it was probably minutes that happened. Damon makes the kick, and I went over the fence, landed on their track, and I wasn't on the field, but I was running behind the team going to go find Damon.
Yeah, sure.
And no more than I thought about it, I got stopped. And I thought the 2 police officers just stopped me, and that's what I had told everyone. These 2 cops stopped me and told me, "What are you doing?" And the people were up above going, "That's his son. Let him go. It's okay, And they go back in the stands. I said, I know. I'm really sorry." I turned around, and there were 2 of the biggest city of Canton or wherever we were, police officers I've ever seen, and one of them said, "Your umbrella's over there." And that was all he said. I went and got my umbrella. I'm like, geez, these guys are huge. They look like twins. Yeah. I go back up, and we found a video, and the 2 cops I thought just stopped me. I was running by, and the one clotheslined me.
Did he really?
Oh, yeah. That was what brought me to my senses, was hitting the ground. And then I was just like, what am I doing? But it overtook me.
Sure.
And I found my wife, and we were just crazy about it.
Were you guys more surprised that he made it over the fence, or he survived the clothesline?
I didn't know about the clothesline until tonight, honestly.
That's great.
That's
awesome.
And we can't find that on our videos, but you can see it on
We're going
Lake.
to look for it in the WSL archive.
Lake Catholic has it on there because they were coming shooting it from across the way, and you could definitely see me go over the fence, and I had a mask on, and I'm just running down the sideline. Kapow.
That's fantastic.
That's a great
Guys,
story.
and going back to that story, what does Coach Wrecker mean to this family, this community? Because I know your dad just loves the guy. Look, I've met him a couple years ago.
He's a great
He's
guy.
fantastic to me. Always gracious with his time. He means a lot to us. I know he means a lot to you guys.
Can I say one thing before you do that? Jalen, when you asked him about what it was like coming back to those guys, and he said expectations. Several years after Coach Wrecker came, I said, "Coach Wrecker, what's the difference between," it was just him and I wanted to know, what's the difference between the 2 state championships you won as a player at St. John's and what we got going on at Van Wert? And he just went, "They expect it." And for Jalen's 2019 football season, #expect it. And it still comes up, expectations.
Really?
And there you go. Yeah. But I'll let these guys answer your question.
Yeah, I have like 2 different, like one as a player and like one thought as a player, and then one thought as a coach. Yeah, now I work with them in the high school and as a coach. So as a player, I always thought of him as really stoic. Like, I didn't see him ever drop a football or like it seemed like he never made a mistake. So he was very intense as a coach too, but he expected, we keep saying expected, but
that's it.
He expects a lot out of you. And as a player, and then as a coach now, he expects a lot out of us as coaches too, to make it the best for our players. But he's an awesome guy. You can tell he puts his family first. His family is everything to him, and you can still see those family values in the team. He wants the team to be a family too, and I think he brings a lot to that.
Mm-hmm. It's a great family. We were at Lee Kinsel, and his son showed up with some McDonald's. Who brings McDonald's without sharing? And the kid gave me some of his French fries. He goes, "Here, take some of my French fries." Yeah, that's just a special family.
Write it down, Logan Wrecker. He's going to be a good one.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Great seeing now.
Fourth. Yeah, he's just a little guy, but he gets her done.
Yeah, the expectation.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got some rapid fire questions?
I do, guys. Let's have some fun here. All right. Of all the McCrackens, who is the single toughest McCracken?
Probably Damon.
Say Damon, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that was
He never complains ever.
He doesn't, yeah.
It seems like Damon, when he was like 12 years old, he was already a monster.
Really?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
you could just tell he was going to be.
What makes him so tough?
He's a bull.
composure.
He's composed.
He doesn't
You never
quit.
see him cry or get upset or anything, even when he's a little kid. He's just very composed.
All right, let's go from the toughest and the most composed. Who's the biggest whiner in the family?
That's an easy one. He's sitting right here.
Right, you're the baby of the family.
I wouldn't
It's
have voted
allowed,
for
right?
Griff, so I'm not going to say who I thought it was.
I know who you would have voted for.
Who would you say?
I don't know.
Mr. Financial
I
Advisor.
can't.
Mr. Financial Advisor. I like that. All right, who's the one that will automatically, if you're in a bad mood, make you laugh? Who's the funniest of all the McCrackens?
I'd say that's Griffin too.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
My humor's great.
And he's modest
Straight,
too.
straight from him. It's awesome.
What's his go-to to make you guys laugh?
Just doing something stupid. He'd saying something he shouldn't say, or
Little outlandish?
He is,
I
yeah.
gotcha.
Little off the cuff.
All right, who does the best? Eric McCracken. Who does the best one?
Eric McCracken, we cancel him.
There it is, right there.
That might be it.
That was really good.
Close. Yeah. Probably blew the people in the truck's ears out.
All right, two more for you. Who has the most cougar pride of anybody in the family?
Ooh.
Yeah, I'd say Dad from that one.
I'd say because all the hard work you put in to put in this new stadium, and all you do, like pulling up to my games with big 23 or big number 3 in jerseys is awesome. I think he wins.
And I was a
that one.
Lancer growing up, and I still love the Lancers. But it took me a while to be a Cougar. But once I had 4 boys, and I respect the heck out of our school system. Mark Bagley, who you guys know well. Yeah. I mean, he leads a great ship, and just a good place to be.
Yeah, I was going to say it has to be you. You had the 23 jersey on when I was there Saturday, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. All right, guys, this is going to be a tough one. Best athlete in the whole family?
Me.
Griff's automatically me.
I like Griff's.
I think we're all really good athletes in different ways.
Oh, come on now, give us
I'd
one.
say Griff's the best athlete just because he plays 4 sports. But Jalen's probably the fastest and the strongest. Damon's probably the best football player out of all of us. Griff's kind of got it going all around. But I'd say we're all very athletic in our own right. But I'd say Griff most athletic.
One question I did not get to ask you. You guys all played for Van Wert. You're a Lincoln View Lancer. One school that you wanted to beat most of any school.
This will be. I want to hear this.
High school?
One school that you we're playing them. We're not losing to these guys.
Say for basketball, OG, football, Walpock.
Nice.
Ryan, I want to hear yours.
I mean, in every sport, I'd say since I was a little kid, I wanted to beat Crestview and anything and everything, being a county school and
little brother,
playing them all the time. Yeah, and I was friends with a lot of those guys, and I still am, but it was definitely competitive and always wanted to beat up on them a little bit if we could.
Sarge?
As a player and a coach, football, St. Mary's.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sure.
That'll never change.
Yeah, that's a tough one to do.
Physical game.
Oh, yeah. And then baseball, Defiance.
Right. You beat Defiance, you got a good team.
All you got to do is beat a guy that throws 90.
Right.
Yeah, right. That's all you got to do. Do you have an answer on this one, Eric?
I was real proud of Coach Best's basketball team this year because they beat Crestview, Lincoln View, and Wayne Trace. And somebody told me that happened about 3 or 4 years ago, but I didn't remember it ever happening in the last my era. But I just like to see these guys compete. As I get older, I love going to Griff's games, and I'm not on edge like I used to be.
It's hard to see that.
But you know what I mean? Like it does become easier. I think our town is blessed with a great YMCA. Yeah. It's blessed with a great school system. It's blessed with a lot of volunteers and coaches and just people that care. I mean, you saw how full our stands were Saturday.
Yep.
I mean, it was crazy for a 4:00 basketball game. That whole home side was completely full, and we were playing a team that was really good. So, I feel like I just like to go watch.
Gotcha.
If they're playing, I'm watching. I don't care who it is, but St. Mary's and football, definitely.
Griff, I have one more question, and you guys can answer it well. You get to experience it in real life, but they get to watch it. How amazing is that basketball pregame show?
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
It's just it's really new. I mean, it's not all of us are kind of like you get us all pumped up or whatever, and you go out there and you airball your first three or something like that. Yeah. But I think it's awesome. I think the money we spent on it was definitely worth it, and I think I like where it's going. So. Nice.
I'm a little jealous when I see it, honestly. Like we just got to run through the Cougar Head. We didn't get the smoke and the the graphics on the court, and I think it's probably a little intimidating for the other teams every once in a while too.
I remember when we first heard about Trent Semple, the athletic director, he was telling us about he's getting these projectors, and he was super excited about them. I was like, I mean, like they just like spotlights, like they just show like VW and just like paint them around the floor. I didn't know it was going to be like lights out, all on the floor. I think we were at school, like we had a pep assembly, and they previewed it for us.
Did they really?
And I think it went viral. Like Ohio State basketball, Ohio State basketball posted it.
That's
and
cool.
It was sick.
Yeah.
I was really. It exceeded my expectations.
Now, Eric, is it true that Danny sent our logo, but he blocked Nate and me out to be used on the floor over there for it?
That's
true?
You'd have to get with Trent on that.
Yeah.
But that's what I had heard.
Yes.
That was secondhand information when I got it.
This is Miles' last show.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for coming on. Fantastic family. You guys are doing great things in Van Wert. And this is what it's all about, is community and people working together. And you guys are first class. So thank you so much for
thanks
coming
for
on.
having us. Absolutely.
Keep doing good work.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it. Tonight's discussion of upcoming games on WOSN is brought to you by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, located in Wapak, Delphus, and St. Mary's. Locally owned and operated, Lee's is not just famous for chicken, we're famous for catering, too. Welcome back. It's time for our WOSN Games of the Week, and we've got some fantastic games, guys. We're going to start off with the girls. Thursday night, the #1 ranked team in the state, the Ottawa Glandorf Titans, taking on the Elida Bulldogs. Mark Shine and Kelsey Beimer. Don't count Elida out of this game. They've won 8 out of 10, and they've got Lily Seifert. I messed that name up all the time.
Editing is amazing.
Just call her good, right?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Lily's fantastic. Is she going to be enough, though? We all know what OG's defense can do, right? They will wear you down. She's going to be handling the basketball a lot. Is she going to get worn down by that pressure defense by OG? They score so many points off of what they do defensively. They will break you down. I don't know if Elida can take care of the basketball enough and score enough to beat OG, but if they're going to have their best game of the year, which they've been playing really well, now's the time to do it.
Yeah, we're going to hear a lot more about this Ottawa Glandorf team here in a little bit from Kelsey and Jennifer. But, we talk about Lily Seifert and how good she is. Very well deserved. She is. Fantastic player. Last year almost won tournament game all by herself. But a name that we don't talk a lot about when it comes to that Elida girls team is Emma Mitchell. Mm-hmm. She is so good on the inside. She can score. There's a lot of games where she's the primary scorer for that team. If she can get something going on the inside, she can really help kind of muck things up against that Ottawa Glandorf team. Now, what's been so, I don't want to even say it's different, right? Because it's not different about an Ottawa Glandorf team, but we're seeing the defensive side from OG really take another step this year. They've always been good. They go full court. We see the pressure for them all the time, but there's just something different about this team and how they play defense. The offense is there. It didn't go anywhere. They got the scores. They're going to do their thing. But the Ottawa Glandorf defense has been absolutely phenomenal, and that may be the difference in this one.
6 times they've held their opponent under 30 points, which is absolutely ridiculous. What they did to Fort Laramie, Danny, that
26-point win.
That was definitely eye-opening. Big week for them, though. They have Elida and then Ottaville on Saturday, so a big week for OG.
Yeah, they don't back down from anybody.
No.
That's the one great thing about Coach Yan and that program. They play everybody. Game 2, we're just going to flip the script a little bit. Same 2 teams, Elida, Ottawa Glandorf, the boys, Garrett Mansfield, Scott Mag on the call. Elida 3-9, OG 7-3. Elida coming off of a win. OG coming off a loss to Wapakoneta. Now, I think that we're all in agreement. We all keep waiting for this Elida team to kind of get their feet underneath of them. They've got good athletes. They've got nice players. Can they put it together, go into the Supreme Court, and get the win?
Yeah, Marcus Hill's got to be the guy that really starts stepping forward, right? We thought he'd have a blossom year this year for them. Jonathan Payne's been the guy that's really scored for them. But you're right, Danny. Elida's really got to get going because they have struggled to score some baskets this year. 6 times, held around 30 or below. That's not going to get it done against a well-schooled Ottawa Glandorf team where Brody Fortman is scoring at a high clip.
Yeah, and going into the Supreme Court is never an easy task for anybody at any point. But this Elida team, as you mentioned, they have talent all over the place. Not just Jonathan Payne, not just Hill, but they have the 2 sophomores as well, right? And Hinkle and Tickle, those guys are, I think, players that they need to start being able to build around. When they're in the game, in the games that I've seen for Elida, they have looked really good. And I think that they can start establishing some things on the inside with those guys, use that size to their advantage, and then you're going to open things up to the outside. Marcus Hill, Jonathan Payne, very quick. They can slash to the basket. But if you give them space on the outside, you work those bigger guys on the inside, start giving them a little bit more time and be a little bit more of a conscious effort to maybe to get to the inside. That's how maybe you can kind of slow down this Ottawa Glandorf team. You use that height to your advantage, because this isn't a game you want to get into a track meet with them. Can they run with Payne and Hill? They can. But you don't want to get in a track meet with the Ottawa Glandorf team if you're Elida. Slow it down, use those bigs to your advantage, and kind of muck this up a little bit and give yourself a chance to win this one.
How much of a hangover do they have, Miles, from losing that close one to Wapak? That was one of those games that, is really tough to lose.
Yeah, I don't want to be at the early portion of practice this week, right, with Tyson McLaughlin. But the build off of Nate's point, right, if this is a 50-plus game with points, you really like OG's chance of winning this one.
Yeah. Game 3, Friday night, the Lincoln View Lancers. Oh, my goodness, what a year they're having, 10-2. They're taking on the Grove Bulldogs. I said this a couple weeks ago. I think Columbus Grove may have the best collection of athletes of any basketball team in the area. Not the best basketball players, the best athletes. You want to talk about guys that can run, jump, get up and down the floor. The Grove Bulldogs, they're fun to watch. They really are.
Yeah, they got 3 players who score in double digits. I had a chance to watch them this past Friday against LCC, a very close game. LCC ends up pulling away late in that one to come away with the victory. Columbus Grove got a little bit of a late start because of that football success. Guys probably just kind of starting to get their basketball legs underneath them. This is a really good team. You're talking about a Lincoln View team, and this is no shade to Lincoln View whatsoever, but they have to be the surprise of the year in this area.
Oh, my goodness.
Nobody saw this coming outside of maybe the people over there in Lincoln View, and if those guys are being honest with you, they probably thought they were still about a year away. Yeah. They have looked really good, been a fantastic team, and when you look at their schedule, this Columbus Grove game may kind of be that last really big hurdle. There's other games, there's other ways they can stumble, but if you can pass this last test, you got to be liking your chances to win this conference. That's going to put even a little bit more pressure. When you talk about a team like Lincoln View, though, right? Sometimes it's good you don't know what you don't know. And for them, they're so young and in a new position, they don't know that this is supposed to be a big game. And so that may help calm some of those nerves. I like this Lincoln View team. I think this is a big matchup. I'll be there for the call on this one. I'm excited for it.
Last week, we're supposed to beat Spencerville? What? We do? What's going on?
Yeah. I mean, they're not afraid. They're not going to back down. They don't know any better. They're just going to go out there and play. They're not intimidated. They haven't backed down from a single fight. They beat LCC. They beat Spencerville. They just continue to roll.
You said they don't know what they don't know, but what they do know is Max Hammonds is going to give them 21 points, right? He's already gotten over 30 a couple times. Marshall Hammonds is going to get him 11 or more, and then Coyle's going to give him 11 points. So they got 3 scores there. Yep. But Max Hammonds is going to be dynamic. But I'm wondering, have they seen a team that's as athletic as Columbus Grove, right? We can score baskets against teams that have 1 or 2 good athletes, but Columbus Grove is going to put 5 guys out there that can really move. Is that going to be a big problem for Lincoln View seeing that type of athleticism all year long? Now, Nate, I know Columbus Grove can score the basket sometimes, but best, how good was he against LCC? How does he score the basketball?
Everywhere. It doesn't matter where it's at. He can shoot from the outside. From about 15 foot, he's automatic. He had a knack, especially against LCC, to just find that open spot in the defense. Get there, pull up, jumper, didn't matter. Saw him at the rim. He was getting rebounds. He was fantastic that night. He went shot for shot with Jordan Priddy. We talked about Priddy going head-to-head with Cam Elwer on Sunday. Landon Best did it with Jordan Priddy on Friday night, and Columbus Grove was right there, had a chance late to win that one before LCC ended up coming away with the victory. I think what's best for Lincoln View is that they get this game right after playing Spencerville. Because you talked about, have they seen a team that's as athletic as Columbus Grove? Right. Spencerville's got to be as close to the team as they're going to see. They just got through that game, a high-scoring game where they had to put a lot of points up on the board, had to play defense late to hold on to that victory. Now they get to play Columbus Grove, a lot like Spencerville. I think it's a great time for them to see the Bulldogs.
I'm wondering if they're going to be able to bang with Basinger inside and Baxter, too.
A lot of physicality.
A lot of physicality out of the Grove Bulldogs. it's going to be a fun matchup.
Game 4 Friday night. Oh, boys, they're shaking the leaves off the trees in Maria Stein. This is going to be a slobber knocker. Delphos St. John's, #1 team in the state, 12-0. They're taking on Marion Local, #1 team in the state, 10-0. Going to be a sold-out gymnasium. Danny Holbrook, myself, Dave Bowen on the call.
Has anyone ever explained to Marion Local that you're not supposed to just win all the time? You're supposed to have drop-offs, kids graduate, you're not supposed to replace them right away. You're supposed to go through lulls where maybe you don't win everything. Has anyone just ever told them that?
I had them over the Christmas break, and it was before Christmas when I thought maybe they'd have some holiday lulls. I had them at Bath. They only won that one by 30. Look, guys, you got Mesher, who's the best, and I'm not going to back down from the statement. He's the best defensive player in Northwest Ohio. I've never seen anything like it.
4 steals a game.
He's incredible. You got Arns. He's 6'3". He's multi-dimensional in what he can do. You've got Kramer, the guard that can knock him down. And then Brennan Hess is just a 6'4" nightmare to have to deal with.
He is going to be insanely good.
This is going to be a fantastic game. Now, here's the problem. You know this. You know this. How do you defend Delphos St. John's? They only put 10 guys out there that can shoot the ball from the parking lot, and they're just unbelievable.
Yeah, the thing with Marion Local was there was supposed to be a step back, right? They graduated some guys. They're like, all right, well, how are you going to replace them? We're going to see them kind of maybe by the end of the year they'll be rolling and back to what maybe we've seen Marion Local, but it's going to take them a minute. No, it hasn't at all. And Delphos St. John's has just continued this run that we've seen them on the last couple of years. We've talked a couple times about the game against LCC on Sunday. Danny, you and I have had Delphos St. John's a couple of times, and we've talked about this. The one, I guess, quote-unquote weakness that you see, if you can call it that, is the lack of size that the Blue Jays have. They always find a way to overcome it, though. They do a nice job of packing things in on the inside. And teams that have had a height advantage, and you would think the strategy would be, let's get inside, let's try to use that height to our advantage and try to get some easy buckets. We've seen them do it, and then we've seen the teams get away from it. We have yet to see a team, until Sunday, make a conscious effort through the entire game to do things inside the paint and at the rim. Well, LCC did that.
And Don McKee was fantastic.
He absolutely, his best game of the year, Delphos St. John's still won. Yeah. But this Marion Local team is going to have a height advantage. Those guys can play outside. Those guys can play inside. This is going to be, in my opinion, the most difficult matchup for Delphos St. John's and how they're going to defend the Flyers. And a lot of this is going to come down to the offensive scheme that Marion Local throws out there to try to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I really like Marion Local's opportunity here because think of the advantages that they're going to have. They're going to be physical, right? You like that. They just do not turn the basketball over, so there's not going to be easy points for DSJ off of turnovers. They rebound the basketball extremely well. So when DSJ does miss, it's going to be a one-and-done type of situation. That's going to put a lot of pressure on DSJ to make their shots. And when you're a free shooter, because you know your guys are going to chase down rebounds, it's a little bit different than knowing this might be my only shot on this possession. Things get a little bit tighter. Plus, they are absolutely fanatical about getting the ball from 8 foot in on a shot. They, every single time. And if they don't get that shot, you know what they do? They pull it out and they say, let's just work around until we get that. If they control the pace and they are the more physical of the two teams, Marion Local's got a tremendous shot to get this win.
Smaller court too.
And I don't disagree with you. However, if Delphos St. John's comes out and they are hitting, it doesn't matter. It does. We saw that against Van Wert, right? Yes. They can score so fast and in bunches. So Sunday, they were down. Yeah. They were down against LCC, and in a blink of an eye, had erased. I mean, you didn't even know what happened. LCC's like, how did they even get this many points? Doesn't seem like they should have had that many possessions. I've never seen a team able to score so quickly. There's no panic, even if they find themselves down. And if they are hitting and their shot is on, which it is more often than not, I don't know who's going to beat them.
I thought it was fantastic what LCC was doing. They were bringing the weak side help over every time they get around their first man to get to the rim, so they had an extra defender in the paint. So what does Delphos St. John's do? Oh, you've left that spot. We're throwing to that side, and we're knocking down jumpers, whether it was from three-land or whether they just take a dribble and knock down a 12-footer.
Let me ask you this. Do you put Mesher on Elwer?
Absolutely, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that'll be a lot of fun.
Absolutely,
Right.
I do,
Okay.
because here's the thing. I said this. He's the best defensive player in the area. Cam Elwer, maybe the best offensive player in the area. It's just going to be a great game.
I'll tell you one thing, though, about Braden Mesher. Nobody sees the floor better than him.
He's fantastic.
The way he finds his teammates to make them better is It's fantastic.
Game 5, Saturday night. This is going to be a dandy in the Putnam County League. Columbus Grove goes to Kalida. Randy Robertson, Miles Holiday. Guys, there are certain rivalries in this area that are just fantastic. Regardless of the record, this is one of them. This is going to be a great game.
Yeah, I'm wondering how Kalida's going to play this, because we saw them, they like to be a slow-paced team, right, limit possessions. But then we saw them against LCC, and what they do? They ran with LCC, or tried to. And the next thing you know, it's a blowout. I think if they try to run with Columbus Grove, that's going to be a problem as well. If it's a grinded out affair and they get limited possessions, I think they're going to stay in this one. But there's a lot of athleticism on Columbus Grove. Columbus Grove keeps their composure. I like their chances. Don't always do that, though, do they?
No, they don't.
Well, and you got to take into effect, this is a Saturday game. Yes, it's a conference. That's that unique thing about a PCL matchup. Yeah. So it is still a conference matchup, and it's going to be a tough game. But Grove is going to be coming off of that Lincoln View game on Friday night. How do they come out of that game? Because we know that will be a physical, high-pace, high-intensity game. Now you're going to play a team that's going to be like almost a stark difference, right, than Lincoln View and this Kalida team. That is always the defense and the way that the style they play offense is just a tradition over there for Kalida. It'll be two different styles. It'll be interesting to see how Columbus Grove is able to adjust to that. The physical play, I think, is still going to come into effect. Columbus Grove is they are who they are. Yep. And, they can play bully basketball if they need to, and that may be what they have to get to there on Saturday.
Would you zone up against Columbus Grove?
I would.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. They really have two guys really that do their three-point shooting. The rest of the team, not a great three-point shooting team this early in the season. Go ahead, get some other guys to take those shots, run those other guys off the line, and see if they can.
I'll tell you what they do like to do. They do like to get that defensive rebound, and it's one pass and gone.
Oh, yeah.
They are going because they got the athletes.
They find the outlets.
Yeah, it's a dunk fest. All right, guys, Game 6, Saturday night. Lima Central Catholic goes to the Fieldhouse to take on the Elida Bulldogs. Mark Shine and Jerry Snodgrass. Guys, this is a backyard rivalry. They've been playing for 1,000 years. These two teams know each other as well as anybody. Still going to be a big-time crowd out there because that's what this rivalry is about.
Yeah, look, let's save everybody a lot of time. Let's not even play the basketball game. You get Xavier Purnell and Jonathan Payne. You go out. They do a pose-off. Whoever gets the most cheers on the best bicep, tricep pose, they win that one. Or maybe even this. You do an arm wrestling contest right at half court. Whoever wins, it's an early night.
Well, I'm going to say this, Nate. I was so impressed with Jackson. Help me out with his last name.
White?
Yeah, Jackson White. Jackson White. Xavier Purnell. In the cast around Jordan Pretty. They were fantastic yesterday.
Yeah, they really took a step up, which is what Coach Powell and that coaching staff has been waiting to see. Who's going to step up and help? Because, we know the scorer that Jordan is, but he can't do it by himself. No. He needs his teammates. And I felt like the entire cast around him really took a step forward against Delphos St. John's. Now, the key is going to be able to continually do that, guys. They got to get consistent out of that. It's a good weekend for them to try to see what they can do. They got Bluffton Friday night. They got Elida on Saturday. 2 games where they should be favored. Those guys need to build off of what they did this weekend. They've had a difficult schedule early. Their record is not indicative of what this team is and how good they are.
Competition.
Now they've got to see if they can start building off of that and using some of these games where they should be favored to try to build on that, get that consistency, and get things going as we move through January and turn into February.
Danny, you brought up guys that need to step forward for LCC, right? I would like to remind you guys, had Brady Parker not fouled out, strong possibility LCC does pull that up.
That's a great point because he was having a great game. Game 7, Saturday night, our final game, Spencerville at Arlington. Nate Garlock and Josiah Stober on the call. Guys, this is a game of different styles. You've got Spencerville perimeter guard oriented, and you've got Arlington, the big fellow Calvin Willow. You just wonder what's going to give.
Yeah, I have yet to see Arlington this season, but I have seen Spencerville. Watching, Will and Owen do their thing is always a lot of fun. Will has looked like a different level scorer this year than we have seen him in the past. But the Will Sensible versus Calvin Willow matchup, you're not going to see them defensively on each other most likely, right? But which one of those
guys? It's a bad switch if it does happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But which one of those guys is able to take over offensively for their team, I think will be the difference in this one.
So Arlington, big weekend, right? Liberty Benton on Friday and then Spencerville on Saturday. That's a huge weekend for them. Arlington needs to get 2 wins right there, especially against Liberty Benton. If they get the win after getting a win on Liberty Benton Saturday, it's kind of like icing on the cake right there, right? 5 in a row. You've seen Calvin Willow. The guy's a force, an absolute force, right? Yeah. Not just a rebounder, a shot maker, but a shot blocker as well. He does it all.
Runs the court. Yeah, fantastic.
He's just got reach everywhere. However, you and I got to see Spencerville deal with a big earlier in the year, the big polar bear Cole Albers at Minster, right? And what'd they do? They said, we got 2 post players. They're just going to bang on him the whole time.
Used all 10 fouls.
They did use all, and I would argue it might have been 20, but officials get tired of calling that, right? So it's going to be their philosophy, right? Bang the post. Before you know it, Willow, who early in the game is going to catch it on the low block and do what he wants, all of a sudden he's going to be pushed out off the block to an uncomfortable spot because of those fouls. I like Spencerville's plan against bigs.
One of the things about Calvin Willow that I've been most impressed with over the last couple of years when he's kind of been in the lexicon of this area with tournament play and starting to play some local teams is a lot of times you'll see guys, especially big guys, who they've always been big. They've always been tall, right, in basketball. So it's always just kind of been a one-dimensional type of game where you see them plateau with the talent they have. He has just continued to get better and better and better at every year. That has been the most impressive thing to me. Looking forward to this matchup and seeing how Spencerville handles him.
All right, guys, it's time to nominate our King of the Court. We had some great nominations last week. We've got the Berkey brothers, Logan Markley, Sean Foster, Jordan Pretty, Trevin Baxter. And before we start this, Nate, I'm going to come to you because I looked over at your paper, and do you have the same 2 players that I have nominated?
I don't know, but I'm going first because I wasn't here last week, and so you guys got all these people.
I knew it. Yeah.
I got to be honest with you. If you and I have the same 2 players, it's absolutely hilarious.
Well, I have Calvin Willow and Will Sensible.
That's hilarious. It's right here. I swear. I have Will Sensible and Calvin Willow.
Folks, look, I promise you, I did not know that. He did not know that. It happens every week.
That is hilarious. Yes,
well,
those are my 2 nominations. Will Sensible, Calvin Willow. We just talked about the matchup. Yep. That's really what kind of got me in the forefront of thinking of those guys when we're looking at this area. Yep. Calvin Willow, like we said, kind of a new player to this area. Exactly. And that's kind of what, building off of the King of the Court stuff that we did last year, and you talk about those one-on-one matchups. Yeah. Well, he's not just tall. He can shoot. He has touch. Can you imagine a way that the bracket breaks out and we end up seeing Beckett, Berkey, and Calvin Willow go against each other?
So
the conversation we'll have around that. Will Sensible, we know how well he can score and what he's able to do pulling up from the outside. He's great, has a great mid-range game as well. He can slash, get to the basket. So those are my 2 nominations.
If I was Calvin Will, I'd just stay at the rim, right? You're going to get tired of shooting.
Yeah. I'm so excited about a fictional tournament. I'm just so excited about it. Who do you got?
We have to keep reminding Danny that this is not, we're not actually able to put this on, unfortunately.
I brought up a name earlier and he said, well, they're hurt.
Yeah. Like, how would they play it? Well, it's not real, big guy. It's fine.
Fictional, buddy. I can't believe that you didn't get hate mail after last week because I thought for sure your first nomination would be a guy by the name of Cam Elwer.
I know.
When I read this, I was like, are you guys just because we're not going for low-hanging fruit? Is that what we're doing, not the obvious?
We've got plenty of time, and I can promise you Cam will be in that bracket. Yeah.
I want everybody at that game this weekend to go up to Danny and say, how did you not nominate Cam Elwer?
Because I knew there was plenty of time.
I'll tell you what, with my 2, and I see what yours 2 are, we got a little bit of a theme going on for this. So accidentally, but we got a theme.
No doubt about her. Cam Elwer, who lost in the finals last year to Beckett Buckets Berkey. What a great final that was. Played right over there. Yeah. It was an absolutely amazing game. But I'm going to go with Braden Mesher also. I came away super impressed when I had them on Saturday against Van Wert. Might not be a tougher dude on a basketball floor this year, so he's going to be in the tournament as well.
Your 2 nominations play each other this weekend. My 2 nominations play each other this weekend. You got to think on the fly here. What you got?
Ratings bonanza.
Let's go Marcus Hill from Elida. How about Marcus Hill?
Okay.
Good guard. Let's go Marcus Hill.
Marcus Hill from Elida. Okay. Yeah. And a second one?
We already got Braden Mesher, don't we?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Literally just said it.
Yeah, you're right. You know what?
3 seconds ago.
I'm going Ryan Richardson, Wapakoneta.
Ooh. Mark Hallstadter just smiled.
Yeah,
like
Ryan
that.
Richardson.
He is a knockdown shooter, that's for sure. All right.
I love you, Cam Elwer. All right, guys.
Yet he didn't nominate you last
Yeah, but he didn't do it.
For our sensational Stolly Player of the Week and our Power 5 teams, Can I go first on this?
Yeah,
one?
you got. Yeah. We'll let you go on this one, big guy. If we have the same, I'm going to be so angry.
No. Hey, look, I'm my sensational player of the week. I talked about him earlier. Was Caleb Moyer. I love the kid. He was fantastic in that win over OG. He's the reason they won that game. He was just the best player on the floor.
Does so many things to help you win.
Yeah, he does. My top 5: Delphos St. John's, Lima Senior, Marion Local, Wapakoneta, and Lincoln View at 10 and 2.
Lincoln View making an appearance.
Yeah.
All right. Nate, you want to go, buddy?
Sure, I'll go. My sensational player of the week is going to be Jordan Pretty. He had 30 on Friday night in that win against Columbus Grove. He goes for 34 in the loss against Delphos St. John's. Had the basket to send them to overtime. Almost willed LCC to that win.
Was it a foul?
And in that win on Friday night when he got to 30, he also moved third all-time in scoring in the history of LCC. Has a really good chance to make it to number 2 to overtake Hutch by the time the season is over. So, he had a fantastic weekend, and he gets my sensational solid player of the week. And then my Power 5 teams, Delphos St. John's, Marion Local. With that win over Spencerville, Lincoln View has moved their way up into it. And then Lima Senior, and then I'm going to go with Walpock. It was between Walpock and Van Wert, but Walpock with just the one loss to a really good Indian Lake team, they're going to be my 5th team right now.
That Van Wert team really scared Marion Local early in that basketball game.
Right.
Had a 6-point advantage at one point in time. Watch out for them next year. They're going to be so much fun.
Well, and they got 3 losses. 2 of those are to Delphos St. John's and to Marion Local. No shame in those losses at all.
All right, my player of the week, sensational style player of the week, is Brennan Hess over at Marion Local. 10 points. So he won 15 points against McCrackens, number 1 team in the state at the time, on Tuesday. Bounced back on Saturday, had 10 points. He's starting to really understand how to score the basketball for this team. Tremendous defensively. He is a guy that jumps out of the gym. But the most important thing about it, interviewed him after the game. Guess what he did? He buried a half-court shot.
Oh, yeah! There we go. We don't see that very often.
It was the first one this year. Fantastic. And my top 5 teams, Delphos St. John's, Lima Senior, Marion Local, Wapak, and then, boy, I still believe in these guys, and I can't wait for the showdown into WBL. I have Shawnee at number 5.
Nice. All right, we're going to take another timeout. When we come back, we're going to talk girls high school basketball with the Princess of Positivity, Kelsey Beimer, and Jennifer Beck. It's the 3 Wise Men on WSN. It's interview time here on the 3 Wise Men, and we're talking high school girls basketball with Kelsey Beimer and Jennifer Beck. Ladies, thanks for coming on the show.
Of course.
Hey, thanks for letting us be here.
You know, we look at high school basketball in our area right now, and teams like OG 12-0 and St. Henry 11-0 and Miller City 12-1. It's really good basketball in Northwest Ohio, year in and year out on the girls' side, right?
Yeah, I think this is my 3rd year now commentating and doing camera work for WSN, and I just got so involved in the girls' basketball game. It's been so much fun to see some of these players develop, what some of these teams can do. I just love seeing the sport.
Yeah, I agree with you. And you mentioned OG hasn't lost a regular season game since January 27th, 2024. I mean, and then right behind, they just beat Miller City, who's also ranked number 1 in their division. So, yeah, I mean, number 1, number 4. All of these things you have right here.
Jennifer, you have a little more experience doing this than Kelsey.
Yep.
What is it that you've noticed over the years? I mean, ladies high school basketball is getting better and better every single year. What do you think is the driving force? How has this exploded?
I'm pausing to think about it because there's so many things. Of course, we have AAU. We have so many opportunities.
Right.
But I just think the athleticism and the regrowth that's happening in this area when you can start the younger ones seeing these older people. We know that at OG, those younger kids are watching the older ones. We know at Miller City it's happening. So when that happens, they aspire to be that. They want to be that.
Right.
And then you hear the stories about the middle school teams doing so great. That's because of that. It's because of the legacy that these schools have.
That's a great point.
Can I add into that?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
I think also, like, you're seeing girls sports at the higher levels getting a lot better too in the WNBA. You have your Caitlin Clarks, your Paige Beckers, your Asia Wilsons that are all growing in popularity. I think that's kind of trickling down to the lower levels as well and making girls more motivated.
Yeah, it's a great point. You talked about the lower levels. I remember going down to Fort Lorman a couple years ago, and they have just an unbelievable girls basketball program, and they brought out their little bitty dribblers. It was like 60 girls at halftime, and that was the JV halftime. The varsity halftime, they bring out 60 more, and it's just everybody does it down there, and that's places like OG and Miller City and Fort Loramie. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've seen that with the boys for decades. And so it's been more recently that we've seen the girls coming up and doing that. It's just opportunities. The opportunities are presenting themselves, and parents are getting their kids into it and saying, yeah, I like this. Let's do it.
All right, so unbelievable basketball again this year.
Yeah.
Give us a couple of the top 2 teams in the area that have really impressed you, Kelsey.
Yeah, so we just picked out a couple of teams. So first off, I have to start with the defending Division 6 state champions, Columbus Grove, of course. You know, they're 11-1 this year. That one loss comes from OG, who's having a fantastic season, which Jennifer is going to talk about OG more here in a little bit. But, you know, they had the whole team return, just lost Laura Nakmudi to Findlay. But, you know, they've had a couple injury struggles this year, too. You have Aubrey Schrader, who's out for the season with an ACL injury.
Loss.
Yeah, huge loss, because she's just a sophomore, and she's absolutely fantastic for that team. Also, Elise Fortman was out with an injury, but she's back now. So, you know, they're kind of trying to find their way back and look at their way around these injuries, but they still have a lot of players that can step up. Nicole Nesby is one of them.
She's fantastic.
She's been so good, 13.8 points per game, almost 10 rebounds a game. She currently has 908 points and only 400 rebounds away from the career rebounding record. So,
Bet she gets it.
100%. I would bet a lot that she does. And also, when you look at this Columbus Grove team, they're going to be good for a long time. I'm telling you guys, remember the names. These 2 freshmen, Bryn Kavalich and Lydia Sarka. 7.7 points per game from Bryn, 5.4 from Lydia. But these 2 girls, just as freshmen, are absolutely fantastic. And I think it almost goes back to what Jennifer was saying. You know, you have these girls coming up from middle school. They're already developed to be able to play into the system. So remember those 2 names, and Columbus Grove is going to be good for a long time.
And Coach Schrader, one of those guys too. He can win many different ways, right? Even this year's basketball team, much different than a year ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, he's able to conform to what talents he has on his team, and I see them being good for a very long time. And for each of these teams, me and Jennifer also picked out one standout player that we wanted to dive into a little bit more.
Absolutely.
And for Columbus Grove, I chose Kendall Palti. I spoke with one.
Well, that was a tough one.
I know, right? We've talked about Kendall so many times.
She's so good.
She's so good, yeah. And I talked to one of their coaches, and he told me a couple of things he had to say about Kendall. He said she does so much for the team on both ends of the floor. She's really good playing at the top of their 2-3 zone defense and hustles like crazy. She's always business when it comes to practice and playing. So, I mean, she puts up great numbers already in itself, but it's not all about that. You know, she contributes in so many other ways, and she seems to be a top leader for this team. So do you want me to do my second, or do you want to do a back and forth?
Well, you got 2 NWCs, so is that right?
Yeah.
Because you got your other one that you're looking at
WBLs
as well.
Okay, let's do it. So my second team, Spencerville. This is a team I've got to see quite a few times this season, and they're really exciting and really fun to watch. They're 11-3. But those 3 losses came from OG and St. Henry are 2 of them. Those teams are undefeated.
That showdown with St. Henry's this weekend, wasn't it?
Yep. So those 2 teams are undefeated, and Lima Senior as well was one of those losses. But they're 4-0 in the NWC, average 46 points per game, and give up about 40 points a game. So a couple players on this team. Briley Cook, she's really been a standout to me. She's a 6'2 junior. She averages a double-double, 11 points per game, and almost 11 rebounds per game. She's just so fun to watch. I think every single Spencerville game I've called, she's been their player of the game. She's just absolutely fantastic, super fun to watch. A threat offensively, defensively, underneath the basket, a great player, so keep an eye out for her. And also, I talked to Nate Stedman, you know, our friend who's very close to Spencerville. He wanted to stress how tough this team plays defensively. And one girl that sticks out to me in that way is Elon Muniz. She's fantastic. She hustles. She's all over the floor. She leads the team with 29 steals as of a couple games ago. So she's fantastic. And their one standout player I want to talk about, Clara Goki, senior on the team. She actually, a few weeks ago, completely tore her ACL in the game versus Marion Local. And she's actually had a custom knee brace made so that she's able to come back and try to finish out the season. Because she's a senior, she's nearing her 1,000 points. So she's doing everything she can to get back to playing on the floor. She's slowly starting to get her way back in. But Clara Goki, 14 points per game. She shoots about 53% from the 3-point field goal range and 81.5% from the free throw line. This girl, I'm telling you, her handles are smooth as can be. Her shot behind the 3-point arc is unreal. she's fantastic, Clara is.
I was going to ask you if she's tough, but clearly she is.
Yeah, heck
Give
yeah,
me a
she
knee
is.
brace and play with a torn ACL.
heck yeah.
Hello.
Before we get to Jennifer's teams, I want to get your opinion on something. I brought this up a couple weeks ago. The idea of playing the boys varsity and the girls varsity on the same night and having the JVs play there. Do you think that would get more exposure for the girls teams?
I'm from Iowa, and that's what we did.
No kidding.
That's what we did. So when I first came to Ohio, I was a little taken back that they
Have separate
didn't
nights,
do
yeah.
it that way, because that was the thing. JV played during the week, and that you knew that. You were the JV team.
See,
you played during the
yeah.
week. It was always varsity girls at 6, and it was varsity boys at 7:30 every Friday night in Iowa.
I will tell you this, though. ADs don't like it because now you've paid one gate. And people think, well, I get to see 2 varsity games, so you're losing out on gate money, and you're not going to make the announcement everybody needs to leave and then come back and pay again, right?
Yeah, I just thought maybe it would motivate, like if the JV kids are playing on Tuesday and Saturday morning, like the girls varsity are now, maybe that would motivate them. Hey, I want to be on that varsity spotlight, and you get to showcase your girls teams every Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah, I'd never thought about that. I think that's a really good idea. It would definitely get more exposure to the girls' game, but also I can see it from Miles' side as well, where AD probably isn't
He
as
wants
big a
some money.
fan. Yeah.
Money matters, right?
And I'll tell you this, Dan, the NWOAL up in Northwest
Yeah.
Ohio, Ohio's oldest league, ladies play on Friday.
Really?
Yeah, that's ladies' night.
No kidding. The boys don't play on Friday.
No, they don't play on Friday.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Jennifer, who you got over there?
Well, before we get any further, I just want to mention we keep using the word fantastic, and I want everybody to know this lady is fantastic. I have loved calling games with her this season because she has so much information.
She's positive.
She is. She's so
I
much
see what I did there.
information.
She's
and
a
that's
princess.
it. So if I could vote her on things, I would.
Thank you. Yeah, me and Jennifer have
Vote
started.
her on the Dream color commentary team.
But yeah, we've started calling games together this season, and it's been so much
the
fun.
3 wise women.
Yes. We can get Megan in here with us.
Get Megan in here. Mean
I don't see
Megan.
how she fits.
She's sick.
You better be glad she's not here. She'd be running down
It's a Monday night. Of course she's not here.
What do you got, Jennifer?
All right. Well, we've heard everybody talk about Ottawa Glandor for a lot. We're going to talk about them in a moment, but not yet, because first I want us to talk about Bath. Bath's having a good year. They had a transition, new coach for the first time in a long time. So a lot of new things, but they've already got 10 wins, 10-3. They are one of 2 undefeated teams in the WBL behind OG. And they've got a great balanced offense. 4 key people, Addie Rex, Marley Mason, Allison Stumbaugh, and Izzy McDermott. So they are definitely a team to watch this season.
Yeah, I had them last year early in the season, and they were young, real young, freshman and sophomore. And I thought, oh man, it's going to be a tough season, but it's really paid off. And Coach Farley came over from Waynesville Goshen, doing a great job. It's not easy to replace a legend like he had to. You know, he's doing a good
Well,
good
they've
job.
had to replace players too.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had some great players graduate over the years. So
Yep.
to be able to rebuild like that, the key person that we decided to take a look and focus on is Izzy McDermott. I mean, it's hard to choose one right now because they are very balanced. But she is a senior, 7 points per game, leads the team in 3-point shooting. What do you guess her team ritual is?
Oh, boy.
Before she starts a game?
Her
pregame ritual, I should
Listening
say.
to Michael Bublé. That's what I would do.
Nobody's team ritual.
What high school?
They're trying to get fired up, not fall asleep.
Yeah, what high school girls saying, nah, let's turn on the Bublé.
According to Facebook, she does Just Dance.
Like the video game?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That
fun.
gets the blood flowing.
That's exactly what Kelsey does for her broadcast.
That's what I do before a broadcast. How do you know?
Yeah, she also has one word to describe her time playing basketball, and that is, think about it, Cedar Point,
Thrilling.
Kings Island.
Oh, roller coasters.
Got it.
Yeah. I don't do roller coasters.
But Izzy does in her basketball career.
That's fantastic.
All right, so they are 10-3. They're 4-0 in the WBL. They are second behind OG. They've got Elida coming up on January 22nd, and then they play OG on January 29th. They also have Salina coming up on February 5th, who is third in the WBL right now, 3-1.
Big games for the WBL coming
It's a
up.
great league for girls basketball
It is.
every year. Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
that showdown against OG coming up leads you into OG.
That's right, and nobody's surprised that we're talking about OG.
No.
Nobody across the state would be surprised that we're talking about OG. Number 1 in their division, number 8 overall in the state of Ohio. I mean, that itself is phenomenal. When you think about the teams that exist in Ohio, the big schools, and for them to be in the top 10, key wins this season over ranked teams. Spencerville's ranked number 25 in their division. Grove is ranked number 4. Miller City's number 1. Fort Loramie number 11. So standing strong against ranked individuals. Madison McKee, center, tall, 6'2", scored a career high 21 points, 11 rebounds in the big win over Fort Loramie. And then we have Carson Erford.
Yep.
Erford. The name Erford itself indicates what it is, and she definitely lived up to that Erford name with her abilities. Just recently moved into 3rd place on Ottawa Glandorf's all-time scoring record.
You mentioned some of those ranked wins, and every year they have some of those ranked wins, but the way they're winning now, the point totals, the differential, very eye-popping.
Yeah, their closest game was to Miller City, 5 points, but other than that, you look at those scores.
They beat Fort Loramie by 26 points.
Yeah.
When's the last time anybody beat Fort Loramie by 26 points? Yeah, they're really talented.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun to see what they do all throughout the rest of the season. I'm sure they have some unfinished business that they want to take care of.
What do you think their secret is? Because year in, year out, the name changes. They always have that 6 foot taller post player that is always a dominant figure. What do you think they do over there that is just a little bit of a secret compared to everybody else?
They have special sauce in
Is that what it is? Something. Yeah.
I think the OG culture, honestly, it's just like we talked about it before in other schools, but OG, like everybody backs the sporting out there, or sporting events out there. The kids from young ages, I think, really want to be out there on that court. So I think just OG is a fantastic sports city in itself.
Well, good stuff, ladies. Now, we have what we call here, Miles invented the queen of the court.
Queen of the court.
King of the court, queen of the court. But we're doing females tonight.
Do you remember who won it last year?
The female queen of the court?
Lauren Moody.
Lauren Moody.
She did.
Pretty good player, maybe the best all-time at Columbus Grove.
Yeah.
Now she's doing her stuff at the University of Findlay. You got any nominations for the Queen of the Court tournament?
Yeah, I'm going to go with one of the players I talked about, and that's Clara Goki from Spencerville. We talked about it. She's tough. She's fantastic. Play both sides of the court. I love her three-point shot. I think she could get a couple girls with a step back maybe. So I'm going to go with Clara from Spencerville.
I want to pick Lily Seifert from Elida.
Ooh, she's a good one.
I didn't want to choose the Elida girl.
I did it for you. But got a chance to watch her last week, and she's just smooth. Man, she's fast. Her hands are quick. It's almost like I see those softball twitches right there in the basketball game because she gets the ball, she's action, and then she knows just when to slow down and get that perfect lay-in.
She almost single-handedly knocked Columbus Grove out of the tournament last year in that tournament game against Grove and Elida. That was, she almost willed the Bulldogs to that victory.
Yeah, you talk about a good athlete. Lily isn't even going to college to play basketball, and we're nominating her for that.
Signed to play at Arizona State for softball.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you. You love her. We all love her, right? Big one Thursday against OG. Will she have enough to upset OG on Thursday?
I love to see the Seifert-Erford showdown here between the two of them.
Yeah.
It'll be tough. Elida had a slow start to the season, but they've gotten a lot better. I can see so much progression. Me and Jennifer just called their game last week against Kenton. They've gotten a lot better, so it could be a good matchup, but Elida will definitely have to bring a lot to beat OG.
When you and I had them earlier in the year, we were like, boy, they got a lot of work to do. They started out 0-3. They've won 8 of their last 10 games.
Yeah.
And the one that they lost was just by a few points.
They're terrific season.
Yeah, they've had some girls step up. Shay Rager, she was a big standout for me. Lexi Good.
Yeah.
They have some great players.
Yeah, I like Lexi Good a lot. Yeah, does a lot of good things for her team.
She does.
I
Very
see what
good.
you did there. Good.
Are you sure it's good?
She does some good stuff
Or
on
was
the
it Lexi
soccer field
Great?
as well.
It might have been fantastic.
Lexi fantastic.
Well, ladies, thanks a lot. You're doing a great job, and keep promoting the women's side of sports, not just basketball, but all of them.
Yeah.
We know you guys do track and soccer and basketball and all that
Fun
stuff.
stuff.
So, we need female
We're
football
privileged.
right now. That's right.
I'd love that.
Flag football's coming.
That's
UNH
right.
flag football, you're done.
I know.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Three Wise Men. It's time to put us in a corner, the Buckeye Corner. See what I did there, Nate?
Yeah, great. Your puns never get
Miles,
old.
your glasses, they look amazing tonight.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
That's right. You look amazing in those glasses. Yeah.
If you've managed
Thank you,
to
Danny.
stick through this, thank you, folks.
I like your
I appreciate
WSM
you
poll.
guys.
Thank you. I like your WSM poll.
Thanks. Make your shot.
Can we talk Buckeyes?
All right,
Let's do it.
Thank
All right,
you.
guys. It says 26 guys in the portal. It's 30 now.
Yeah,
It's
it's
30.
gone up since last night.
crazy.
Yeah.
Are you guys concerned at all? I talked to Miles earlier before we went on the air, and we talked about is there a possibility that coaches are leaving that we don't know about? Guys know things that we don't know about? It's just bizarre. And I know everybody wants to play, and I know, I said it on the radio today, if a guy will come to Ohio State because of NIL, he'll leave because of NIL. What's going on, guys?
Got to be more than that, right? You
Yeah.
got to want to be a Buckeye. You can't just show up for the bag of money that you're going to get. You got to like the other things about it. Look, I understand receivers leaving because Brian Hartline, the guy that recruited you, and maybe you're behind, 3 really studs, and you don't know if you're going to play. I understand if you're a receiver, but some of the other guys, it's real concerning. 30 guys in the portal. I know we've gained some in the portal, but losing a lot of guys that we thought, well, this guy is going to be really good. That being said, though, how many times have we got lost guys that left the portal, left Ohio State, and they went on to great things, right? It hasn't happened a great deal. As a fan, though, boy, it's a rough time of year.
So I got to be honest, I'm not concerned. And the reason that I'm not concerned is I think money is playing a part in all of this.
Yeah,
so I don't, when I say I'm not concerned, I don't think that there's some greater thing going on within the program. I just think you got guys who are seeing other people make money. And so they're saying, we want to make money. And Ohio State's saying, we're only going to pay the people that are going to impact us immediately, not somebody that's going to develop. You develop, we think you're going to give us an impact, we'll pay you. We live in a world right now where everybody wants instant gratification. So guys don't want to have to prove themselves. They just want the end result right now, which is that money bag. And they see Ohio State going out to the portal. They're bringing people in to play their same position. Everybody knows what everybody is making anymore. You're going to pay me that kind of money? Nope. All right, I'm out. Somebody will. It's just a money thing right now in Ohio State. I think, at least it appears, that they're probably being a little bit smart about what they're doing, and they're not just giving everybody money. You have to earn that, not just be given it.
It's got to be tough too, where my uncle tells me I'm amazing and I'm worth $1.5 million, and you go to Ohio State and say, "Yeah, we don't think you are."
No, right.
Well, and you got to think about it too. There's probably some lower level colleges who, Ohio State may not want to give you $250,000, but there might be a lower level D1 school that's like, yeah, we'll give you $250,000, come play for us. And if you're a kid and you're looking at dollar figures and aren't overly concerned about the prestige and the, playing for an Ohio State or whatever, you're just looking at the money. That's a lot of money to be like, now I'll leave that sitting on the table. I don't blame some of them for going after it.
So with all those losses, guys, we got to go back into the portal, obviously, to restock.
Sure.
I mean, what's our biggest position of need right now? Easy.
How do you watch Ohio State the last couple of years and not say kicker?
Right? So
We solved that, I thought. We solved that issue.
No, we don't have a kicker on the roster anymore. We lost all those.
How have we not just given some guy that can kick it 70 yards, $4 million? I don't know.
But guys, we talk about the kicker position right now, and it is the number one need. There's no doubt in my mind. But guys, after Matthews and Sanchez on the corners, we don't have a guy that's played more than 3 snaps all year. We've lost everybody.
Yeah, Bryce
Corner
West
is
was a big loss.
Huge need.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I also think that, there's always something to be said about going out and finding proven line on both sides, offense and defense, to make sure that you got that depth. We saw 2 years ago how important it is to have depth on the offensive line, going out and making sure we have those guys so we can have the offensive weapons that we have shine, I think is a big important piece as well.
Did you see Fielding got a 5th year of eligibility?
I saw that.
Was that real?
Yeah, it was
You
real.
send us some stuff sometimes that I have to go and do some research to see if it's actually real.
Don't kick that one down the road. That's real.
Indiana, Miami. I'm a Hoosier fan. I believe they are going to win the national championship, and that will be 3 Big Ten teams in a row. Thanks, SEC, for trying.
Yeah, Southerners equally cheat, not as good once everybody can pay players, right?
Yeah.
I also think, even if Indiana doesn't win it, this whole notion about the Big Ten being less than has to go away. Because regardless of whether we win it or not, we've won 2 of the last 3, and we've played for the last 3. Right. On top of that, Indiana is playing for a national championship. Tell me that NIL isn't messing with college football.
Yeah. Miles,
that's a great point.
You think we're obnoxious as Buckeye fans or Michigan fans? Imagine if Miami wins the national title. How obnoxious!
Listen,
those guys are.
there's a part of me that the fan base for Indiana, I want nothing more than for those fans to win a national championship. Because 5 years ago, before this NIL world, a realistic Indiana fan wasn't talking about national national championships. And the
6
job
wins.
that they have done with the coaching hire that was a home run, with the portal work that he has done, with the people that he has brought in to put the Hoosiers in this position to potentially be a national champion, I mean, phenomenal.
Without NIL in this current era of college football, Indiana doesn't get where they're at.
No,
This
I
is a
agree
perfect
with you.
storm for them. I just like the fact that Miami and Indiana, the two teams that beat us, and we will still go to our grave saying we just didn't play good football those 2 nights.
Yeah.
Or we're in the national title as well. The two teams that beat us, we're that close to it.
Basketball talk, guys. Buckeye basketball started a West Coast trip earlier this week into the weekend. They went 1-1. What did we learn from this team?
January they should just skip it.
Skip it away. Get it away.
Buckeye basketball.
Chris Holtman,
There's something
the
about
stuff, yeah.
January. Let's just go right to February and not play basketball in January.
Yeah, I'm with you, Nate, right?
There's just something about January. They don't play good.
It is the movie Groundhog Day when it comes to
over and
Ohio
over.
State basketball. Every single year, January rolls around. I fall for it every year because I want to believe. I love my Buckeyes, right? They're playing pretty good basketball. They lost 3 really close games, and then what happened at Washington yesterday should not happen if you're going to be a tournament team.
No.
Highly disappointed in that West Coast trip.
Second leading scorer and the fourth leading scorer for Washington did not play yesterday, and we still lose that game.
And at times looked overmatched. I mean,
Well, that brings me to my next
great point.
question, Nate. What holds them back from winning one-possession games? Guys, I want to field this one because I want to tell you exactly what I think. Best players on the floor get the ball at the end of games, right?
They should.
You want your best players with the ball. Guys, we're overmatched every game. We don't have pros on this team.
Not a great
We don't,
not a
yeah,
great
it's
roster.
not a great roster. And you look at the bench, we've got Colin White, we've got Gabe Cupps, Tayson Chapman, and a hurt Brandon Noel.
Yeah, Brandon Noel.
I mean, there's nobody there, and I'm not putting them down because they're just limited. We're just playing teams with better players. We've said it for 7, 8, 9, 10 years now. We've got to start recruiting. Now, we got spoiled with Thad Matta, and I know there's some people that aren't Thad Matta
please
fans,
bring back
but
Thad Matta era.
Matta could absolutely recruit,
He did.
and it was unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I people try to tell me that Thornton is a pro prospect.
In Europe.
When you watch
Yeah.
him play, he's great until about 7 minutes left to go in a game, and then I don't want him taking last shots, and that is a bad thing if you're a fan to your quote-unquote probably best player, most experienced player. You don't want to see him taking those shots at the end of the game. He makes bad decisions late in games. He forces bad shots. He drives into lanes that aren't open. He just makes too many mistakes for being the guy, and unfortunately, right now, he's the guy.
I feel bad for Bruce Thornton because you brought up those crunch minutes, right? Do you ever notice what his teammates are doing? They're staring at him.
Watching.
There's no movement. It's Bruce having to dribble through 5 different guys and some off-balance shot at the rim, and maybe it goes in. I wish we would have a stone-cold killer on this roster at some point in time.
Yeah.
We always have really nice guys that when
William Buford, Jimmy Jackson.
when the moments become tough, they kind of shrink in those. I want that guy that embraces that moment.
It's too bad because we have to hope that Junie Mobley knocks in 8 or 9 threes for us to be in a game.
He'll shoot 8 or 9.
You're right. So with that said, what do you guys like about this team? Because it's hard to find something. I do like Amari Bynum. I think he's a really
absolutely.
good
A lot to like there.
I think he is the kind of guy that can go to the next level. He's talented.
And he probably transfers.
You're not far off. And if Jake Diebler can keep bringing in guys like this, that he can really establish himself.
You know why we like Bynum? Because he's relentless. He doesn't stop, right?
Yeah.
He just keeps going and keeps going. He is that puppy that when you throw the ball, he's going to wear you out. You're going to get tired of throwing, right? He's going to go get it every time. I love that kid. Hey, he's got a great future. Please stay a Buckeye.
Are we still on the path to make the tournament, guys?
No.
NIT. NIT all the way, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, until we see something different, it's hard. The record's not bad. If they
11-5.
if they stay this way, I mean, is it a possibility? Sure. I just right now, what faith do we have? We've seen this. This just seems like a rinse and repeat type situation.
You got to get to 20 wins, and you got to be 500 in the Big Ten.
At a minimum.
If you get that, I think the Big Ten got 9 teams in last year. I think Ohio State gets in that way. Other than that, no.
Yeah. Good show, guys. Who we got next week, Miles?
Next week on the show, we are off.
That's right, we are. Who we got in 2 weeks?
Yeah, that might have been our fault. We took that off so we could watch a national championship.
We are.
It's our fault, guys. Our fault.
We're taking the week off to watch the national championship game, but after that, we got a great guest.
Yeah, we got Jeremy Best and two of his buddies, two of his best players from Van Wert High School. They're going to be with us. And maybe we can talk them into bringing that floor show, and we start the Three Wise Men with it on here.
Or that's when we we finally convince them that there should be, in that laser lights or whatever they put on the floor, the Three Wise Men logo during the intro.
I like it. I like it.
That's the selling point.
Thanks a lot, Lionel Land. We'll see you next time.